った一つたった一つのたった一人たった一人の私はここ
Reparations on the table, nigga, we ain't seen shit. Put us under pressure, nigga, we ain't even sweat. Came out shining like a diamond in the middle with some mess. On Martin Luther King, bitch, we coming for our check. Headed to the Capitol to stake my feelings in the mind of a radical. You can't ride with me. I'm my only witness when I handle my business. Pull it from their hips, say bye-bye, Billy. No more time for no coasting, I'm on the highway focused. I ain't even smoking, I'm just riding my emotion. Both eyes open, I'm just trying to keep calm. Put an extra set of eyes on them doing recon. Knee deep in snow, say you try and keep going. Told him get up out the cold before my nigga deform. Every old wound seem to getting retorn. I'ma write deep poems to a nigga reborn. I'ma make a statement before I make it out alive. No Channel 5, I would rather make a lie. Before the news try to make a nigga out alive. But the pain in my eyes on a much bigger prize. 501, both hands in the sky. Little do they know it's no plan to survive. I ain't finna give them no chance to decide. I'ma put they feet in both hands in the fire. Dancing in the fire like E-Shake. You gon' test the water, never get both feet wet. We done overexposed the city defense to the overexposure indecent. They don't know they diving in the deep end. Ain't no way that they surviving through the weekend. Everything blown in the flash like a beacon. Drowned in the flames, it's too late to let it sink in. Got 10 ways I can be vengeful. Sitting on 10 grenades, every last pinful. This guerrilla war, they don't know what they in for. I can hear them at the door trying to move in slow. I can hold them off, I got 3 shots. Taking every soul for at least 3 blocks. I can smell the fire burning through the sheetrock. Seeing bodies in the flame, nigga try and reach out. This is how you practice what you finna speak out. Thinking about the facts that they try to leave out. This is for my roots running through the deep south. Dying for a cause, what we finna beef out. If you ain't about the cause, what you finna beef out. Showing up deep, we gon' bring the streets out. Every man line up, showing what your street out. An independent state, what a nigga need now.
Ryu, this is crazy.
Yeah. Watch. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Watch. Tell them keep playing dumb like ain't nobody a witness. Swear to God on my mama. Everybody gon' get it eye. Everybody that's with them eye. Cause everybody I lit them eye. Keep playing dumb like ain't nobody a witness. Swear to God on my mama. Everybody gon' get it eye. Everybody that's with them eye. Cause everybody I lit them out. Niggas can't stand on shit, we living stressed out. Finna get a medal of honor, we bringing facts out. And you get stepped on every time you step out. You not a stepper where you from, you a step down. And stop repping where you from, you a let down. Can't be seen where you from, you keep your head down. That fat nigga mention my name, I'm breaking lead out. RIP another boss nigga, I think he bled out. He ain't gon' make it, I'm taking another head count. COVID so hot, I keep him from leaving beds out. Niggas self-snitching on live, bringing the fans out. They the last nigga took a O talking about how he dead now. You don't know your life too short, that had me stressed out. Somewhere he took a wrong turn, I on the death route. Try the little boy yard blue, I bring the chef out. Put a whole drum on the 9, that bitch attack now. Keep playing dumb like ain't nobody a witness. Swear to God on my mama. Everybody gon' get it eye. Everybody that's with them eye. Cause everybody I hit them up. Keep playing dumb like ain't nobody a witness on my mama. Swear to God, everybody gon' get it eye. Everybody that's with them eye. Cause everybody I lit them out. You can cry all you want, but I don't do tissue. So the guy you don't get through if you let blue get you. I put Nino on that mag, let my boo get you. Making Playboy moves with that new issue. When you surrounded by them snakes, you don't know who bit you. And that's the problem with you fakes, you don't know who hit you. And if I'm trying to make it shake, I don't care who with you. Call me Bruce Ambity Sam, I got 2 pistols. AOI, a bunch of lanes, don't let that shoe fit you. And you better keep them tight, don't let that shoe fit loose. I can't miss, everything got shoe hit you. I ain't friendly, ain't shit, about blue been cool. And you know I don't forget them like an elephant. Ayo, and the eye really irrelevant. Assed out, and we know we lacking intelligence. Keep them out your circle before you regret you let them in.
Ryu, this is crazy.
Power to the dark side family. Power to the dark side family. Y'all already know I got to give a special praise to the most beautiful goddess of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, Stemia, whose image is the most beautiful Whoopi Goldberg. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. I appreciate all the Babel builders in here. Definitely shout out to Juju in the building. Shay Love in the building. Aboriginal Power, who definitely does have a battle coming up with Lex. Definitely a battle coming up with Lex Vortex. I think on the either the second or the fourth. I'm gonna get that time right, but I think it's the fourth. Shout out to Mongo Slade, Power to the Dark Side, God. Appreciate you. Green 101. Shout out to you, God. Appreciate you in the building. Power to the Dark Side, Amari Sweets. Definitely appreciate you. Terry Smoots in the building. Been a minute, God. June 11th. Okay, June 11th, Lex Vortex versus Aboriginal Power. Make sure that y'all are in the building. That will be another big event. I'm telling you, it's going to be another big event. So make sure y'all in the building for that. We got Asiatic Lion in the mix. What's good with you, God Body? Definitely, I'm going to open up the floor because I know some folks probably going to want to speak on it. Shout out to Hood Therapy in the building. Appreciate you. Peace, Tequila. Appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you in the building. So, I'm quite sure, because I know most of us get around when it comes to, how we move on YouTube. And a lot of us tend to do a little bit of cloud watching. So I'm quite sure some people have been cloud watching exactly what's been going on. Shout out to Azov Jones. I'm quite sure some cats have been cloud watching. I want to know, when is it okay to allow white men to give black women relationship advice when it's under your control? What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I'm looking and I'm like, okay, let me go and rewind and see where this conversation was. This dude is up here talking about black women in a sexual manner. This is all being allowed, mind you. Like, I don't give a look, man. I don't know what time it is, bro, but I don't care what you like about our women, bro. Period. Like, there's nothing to go in on that. There's no deep science to it. We already know what it is. Nothing for real. Because if you really gave a fuck, we wouldn't be in this predicament. So I don't understand, how we judge hatred and how we judge, disdain and what we can kind of prove and show. I don't know. Oh, it's actually happening as we speak. Yeah, I think, but I think at some point there you have to be willing to actually step in the way and say, no, not that one. There has to be some sort of protection, some sort of line that's drawn. Like, there's places that we can have a discussion. We can have a discussion politically. We can have a discussion. We can have a discussion. You're entitled to feel that way, man. No problem. We can have a discussion about economics, race, a lot of things. But what I'm not going to give you an invitation to do, or a platform or a stage to do, is talk about our women. We don't need that. We don't really need your input. Like, there's nothing that you are going to say about black women that's going to be positive. I don't need you to talk about their shape. I don't need you to talk about their waist, and you like them a little bit more heavy, and you All of this shit that was going down was racist, mind you. It's all typical racist ass shit. You know, you don't mind them being loud. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, niggas don't even know the damn setup. The niggas sitting there nonchalantly dissing black women. And it's just being okay. It's okay. It's cool. We letting that shit slide. And this is what I be meaning by understanding. You like, he didn't even mention, like, you know, how smart black women are, or, you know, the things that, you know, maybe black women have accomplished. Like, it goes strictly into, you know, the shape and, you know, the attitude. And this is like the things that we discussing. Like, this ain't an opening for us. And then on top of that, this dude looked like some sort of meth head or something. Shout out to who caught that? Yeah, the dude looked like he owns some type of shit. Like, you asking, dude, you got this dude cutting off one of the sisters that's actually on the panel. She go to speak, this clown cuts her off. Like, she got to fight for the, and you can kind of see the disrespect. He trying to overtalk her purposely because he already felt like she ain't really got, you know what I mean? She ain't got nothing to say. So there's some little slick little stuff going on covertly, while meanwhile he's trying to play it like he's cool. No, he ain't getting no correction. I think I heard a dude come up there and wanted to know why. I'm trying to figure out why this dude even asking this question. One dude gets up there and he asks, well, this was Moo Moo. I just thought about that. This dude asks, well, why do white men get awarded for saying that they like all people and black men get shamed for it? Like, what the hell kind of question is that? That's irrelevant. What the fuck is you doing out saying that you like all women for it? Why? Because, nigga, you ain't got no business doing that shit. Simple and plain. You ain't got no business doing that shit. And that's what I be meaning by niggas be wanting to be like, at heart. It's okay. I know most black people are humanists at heart, but the predicament that we in right now, we can't afford to be no damn humanists. You can't be having humanist conversations or humanist discussions, and you're not seen as a damn human yet. He didn't describe black women in the way that you describe a human being. He described them like some sort of sex item. Then he gets to bowing up and talking crazy to Moo Moo about what he needs to do with his life. Like, nigga, Moo Moo probably in a better fucking economical position than this bum ass nigga. You got this damn meth head over here pretending like this nigga is some sort of goddamn relationship guru, and how we should be, we fucking suppressing ourselves by whatever rhetoric we choose to have amongst ourselves. Like, nigga, this ain't even your business, bro. How does this nigga end up at the table having a fucking black discussion with black people? And not only that, is now once black women is involved, nigga, you supposed to be there. You supposed to be shielding that. You supposed to be shielding that. You supposed to be able to see what the fuck going on, bro. Yeah, she may not see it, but you supposed to see that. You supposed to know when you got some goddamn meth head talking up under black women dress. Like, nigga, what are you doing? We don't need no input. We can have a discussion about anything. We're not finna talk about no damn relationships and what you think you deem. Like, no, nigga, we don't need you validating black women. That's our job. If there's something slacking on that, nigga, then nigga do a goddamn show on it. But damn, bro, I'm not giving no white dude no damn platform to start talking that crazy shit. Like, it's gotta be a smarter way that we get things done. Like, come on, man. Come on. And I get it. You know, And this what I be meaning by, you know, and a lot of people don't really kind of respect what Taz do, but you gotta like you can't copy what he do and then fuck it up. That ain't no shit that this nigga would do. The fuck is you doing? Like that ain't no like come on, bro. You got that ain't it. That wasn't the route to take. This dude I don't care if he wasn't no meth head, but I'm telling you that dude's on some shit. I can look at the dude. The nigga got sinkholes in his face. The nigga was on some shit. And he up there smoking a damn cigarette, feeling like he got some sort of place of authority. And there's no debate going on. These niggas is having a fucking dialogue. Like, what the fuck? So there's no, like, what are we doing here? About relationships. Yeah, man. Mumu is just, yeah, I fuck with Mumu, man. I do fuck with Mumu. Mumu a little crazy. He done went off. He done cussed me out a few times, but I fuck with Mumu. Like, I do. But like, that was a horrible question for him, though, to get up there and ask. Like, come on, bro. That don't even matter. That's irrelevant. Question should have been, why are you up here? Number one, I don't even need to know why you said it. How does this discussion, and you know, even if you don't want to, you know, feel like you're stepping on the sister toes or whatever will make, you know, sis, I apologize, but I can't allow the discussion to go this direction. I can't allow the discussion to go this direction. Not only for my sake, but for your sake. This could go left and something, and you can end up being in a predicament to where you get called out your name or something. Like, we don't know what damn meth heads do. These people is unpredictable. These people are unpredictable. That dude is supposed to be food. That's it. Food. You get on, he's food. You find some places where we can disagree, where we can do something. This dude up here talking like, what the fuck black woman is this nigga dating? Like, come on, bro. Like, really? This dude up here, like, you got this white dude up here, like, he the black women expert and the dating expert. Who the fuck is he dating? Period. Besides people who on the same drugs that he fucking hooked on. Like, get out of here, bro. With that shit. Stop it. These corny people, bro. This shit is getting ridiculous. This nigga was up there like he was like this guru. You guys need to stop holding yourselves back, man. What? Holding on. Like, you don't even peep game what he's saying. How the fuck is only dating black women holding yourself back? Think about what he said. Holding yourself back is saying you only gonna date, you would only create with black women. Okay, I got you. I got, man. I thought I already gave it. Like, think about that. So, like, you got to look at yourself and say, okay, so I'm doing something wrong. And the bad part is this ain't even, and then like, you're not even disagreeing or going, you're disagreeing with Mumu and agreeing with this damn, like, well, what the yo, man, yo. If that ain't the most Asiatic shit I've ever seen in my life, that's that Asiatic shit. And I used to always, we used to always say the nigga was just too fucking Hebrew friendly. And now you start to see exactly what we mean by Hebrew friendly shit. Like, the nigga just pulled the most Asiatic move I ever seen. Shout out to Afro Asiatic. No shot at him. No. This was not an Afro Asiatic move. He pulled a Eurasian move right here. This is a Eurasian move. Like, I don't even, you know. Oh shit. So yeah, but you know, hold on, y'all. Wait, let me look. Hopefully y'all good. Oh no. Oh shit. Well, okay. I don't know. Look like it's turning up a little bit, but yeah, like yeah, you're right though. Like it was a simple, and it was a quick stereotype, and it was also a quick little. You guys are better than that, and then but he want them for their body and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys shouldn't limit yourself to black women, but I want them for their body and I do like a thing like all of this crazy shit that he naming. And this is why we got to be careful on certain discussions that we have when we talk about how we might hear certain people talk about each other as of and the images that get portrayed on TV and the images that get portrayed by the machine. And this is what we up against. This is what we up against because it's sad to say, but I did hear, and I don't want to mention, I don't want to embarrass nobody, so I won't mention this and that. But I did hear say that, it's actually like it feels good to have that validation, and to me that's sad, you know what I'm saying, and that's something that's scary to hear. That that's the type of validation that we need, and that out of not only what continue like everything that goes on, but what continues to go on. Because when you talk about most of that dude's rhetoric is going to be conservative rhetoric, and most conservative rhetoric is aimed at black women. Most of it, they build their case for getting rid of different social programs and defunding social programs based on how much black women use them, and they try to create a narrative that black women are are not uh they're basically taking advantage of these different social programs, whatever it may be, and so therefore they should be defunded, and because they and then you do hear some of this same rhetoric spill off in some other people who also kind of shared who sometimes may be black, but it's usually a conservative sort of narrative. Shout out to Nequa B, appreciate you in the building, sis. I checked out your EP. It was fire. It was fire. You can't leave comments on it, but it was definitely fire. I checked out the whole thing. I definitely did. That was a great piece. I'm gonna have to drop that link in there. If you got a I think you a mod. I can't see who's a mod or not from here, but if you're a moderator, you can drop that link to it in the chat. But yeah, um, you we gotta just like that. It's a lot that we up against. It's a lot that we up against, and you know to hear somebody say that, it just kind of says the place that we are, and this is where when we kind of talk about like um we talk about like that fight within yourself in a way. It's almost like that's what was broken. You know, it was like that where how you feel about your inner self is something that was broken, and it's almost like we all are like we all reach out for like this outside validation in order to, you know what I'm saying, to kind of like try to valid, in order to try to find some sort of self-value or self-worth in a way, or sometimes even self-beauty. And in a lot of ways we kind of all do it, and that's why in a lot of ways, we get taken advantage of in different situations that we in, is because people know that we kind of have that lust, or that wanting to feel, uh um uh loved, or whatever it is that we, beautiful, uh all of that. And sometimes, we get taken advantage of. We choose having people feel like that's who we are, and this is what we are based on the image, and then we end up signing contracts to where we're not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? They paying you an outside validation, and you end up with bills, and you can't pay any bills with that, right? You can't pay any bills with that. Shout out to Kofi Hill, power to the motherfucking dark side. Appreciate you, God. Power to the dark side, Al Capone in the building. So it, we talk about protection of black women and what that looks like. It runs a whole lot deeper than you picking up a weapon and pulling the trigger. When you talk about protecting a black woman's image, it's a lot deeper than you talking about what kind of hair she wears, or trying to, stop them from being a video vixen. It's a little bit deeper than that. It runs a little bit deeper than that. And I really, really, you can say a lot. Part of it is the way that they are even discussed in the first place. Like, that's a major issue, is where it's like. And so, a matter of fact, just to hit on that, shout out to West Side Rider. I appreciate that. I just actually just seen something right here, and this is right here, that's something that's deep, because it works in twofold. Because not only does it kind of play out for us on an individual level, but as a whole, you can kind of see where this is an issue, because it's almost like we need outside validation to feel like we can run some sort of system, to actually run some sort of political system, some sort of economic system, to be able to govern ourselves, to be able to police ourselves properly. Like, all of these things we kind of doubt, and we look for outside validation in order to find like value in ourselves as a whole. As a whole. Like, even how when we kind of talk about, you know, like, well, black people is the shit. Look at how everybody wants to be, you know, like, we're validating how much of the shit we are based on people copying our music, or what we deem as copying our style, nah, or whatever it is that we may, that we may be envisioning. But even that in itself is outside of our own circle, and we kind of leave it up to us, depending on whatever images they decide to push out on us. And I said it before, like, this was like getting our own media was like a double-edged sword, because it was like we got, like, I ain't gonna say had, we still have a chance to create, like, when we call it black media, to actually create black propaganda that rivals against the imagery that's produced by the machine. But instead, we want to continue to plant the same seeds, so that shit rubs off on the next generation. Like, yeah, you fucked up. We already know. That don't mean that's something that you have to put that you have to put onto the next generation. It's not. It's like and we don't really get how we do that. A lot of people, they only see it as when they say hurt people, hurt people. A lot of times we only look at it through like violence or some sort of assault, some sort of sexual assault or something like that. But it's in a lot more ways. It's a lot of times it's the subtle things that build up the most. They build up the most. Shout out to Free Spirit. Appreciate you in the building. A lot of the times. A lot of the time. So it's like I said, we end up all of the time in a fight with a lot of times, and with just like a simple. It's like you can tell by like a lot of times the way that we kind of pick our friends. A lot of times we be afraid to lose friends, so we end up doing certain things that make us uncomfortable in order to keep them. It's hard for people. It's hard. I know, and I had to. It's something I had to realize early that okay, I kind of have influence, so I got to be careful. Not only how I move, but how I kind of like how I make people feel around me. Like that, they ain't under pressure to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Outside of you know whatever that they actually want to do, outside of their own free will. But a lot of times because they looking for the validation of people outside on the block or whoever it is, they kind of end up doing shit that they know go against. You kind of do shit that go against your better judgment or your better conscience. But that's the dangerous part too when you get so used to. You gotta think though, most of the religions that we in have kind of put us into a place of where like they almost like break us down like pimps, right? Because like when you think about like what like the religions almost talk to you like how worthless you are and how wretched you are, how untrustworthy you are, how savage you are. And the only way that you're gonna be able to be right is with me. And mind you, this is an outside force that's telling you this. This is so you get used to feeling worthless and happening to depend on an outside source outside of yourself for validation, for to feel confident, to feel some sort of love, to feel like you have some sort of self-worth. All of this starts early. The religions that we pick start dictating that. Think about that. The songs that we sung, A Wreck Like Me, He Saved a Wreck Like Me. This was an outside force that saved you. So you're getting used to depending on outside forces for validation early. Early. And so we do it on an individual level, and we also do it on a like as a whole. Part of the reason why the world doesn't see us as humans because we don't see ourselves as human. And if we did, we wouldn't put like these aren't the conditions or this isn't even the type of situation that other humans would choose to be in. We're not self-governed. Humans, other humans are self-governed. We're babysit. We're babysat. We don't really even see ourselves as human. We don't believe that we could police ourselves or that we can get ourselves in control. We in a dangerous predicament going forward because the rhetoric that continues to get the most blast is the rhetoric that pulls us apart. Nobody, and you even got where I'm listening to this dude, Nature Boy. Now he's your higher self. Like, no, not you finding your own higher self. This nigga's your higher self. Once again, outside forces. You have to be careful with parasites. Anytime something is asking for an invitation to come in, it don't belong there. It don't belong there. So no, you know, there's no, we can't allow, like, a part of the healing, like as we continue to heal ourselves and get through that situation, having meth heads come on and continue to describe our women in a sexual manner does not help our case. And you know what's crazy? What's crazy? I think this dude had a debate, if I'm mistaken, right, with Lex, and the debate was like, are are uh white people supreme or something like that? Are they more supreme than black people? And all that was showed in that debate in opposition in order to defend black people was penis size and basketball, athletic shit. Like, it was disgraceful. And it like, and that's why, like, to me, yeah, that's the same guy. It's the same guy. He debated Lex. Lex took the side of white people, and his premise was that in this system they're more superior, simple and plain. He took the side of, no, we were. The only thing to defend that was penis size and us playing basketball. I was really, really disappointed. I was highly disappointed. And so it kind of shows why that dude getting up there and down and being able to talk under black women clothes was able to fly by, because that's kind of the level of intellect that he's kind of on itself. And not only how he views black, but how he views himself. He views himself like that, and us like that as a whole. We talk about what makes us more superior. Those two, none of that has to show up in order to prove that we are more superior. None of that. There's like inventions. There's so many different ideas, all kind of like experiments. Like, it's ways to even show, and just like us having a higher intelligence and just our genes in general. Like you can just go that direction. But this is the state that they have lowered us to where we can only see, you know, like we don't really like the physical stuff, the little physical bullshit. It's sad. And you hear even multiple dudes in general that kind of do that to where they feel like even when they try to brag on whatever self-worth that they have to or other women desiring them, and it's based on some old animalistic ass shit. Like it's not based on them being a fucking human. Like you can't be reduced to your sex organ and muscles. That's not nah. That's not what makes us superior. And it's and that's why I think it's a dangerous game because, and shout out to Frances Cress Wilson, you know, she, we all know she transitioned, but I think some of the problems with the work that she put out, in some ways, it seems like a lot of people took that argument and it was like it opened up the door for us being like dangerous and this fear of us over our sexual organ. And though that was the argument that she was making, I think it was flipped into, well, that's why we're so desired and that's why we're superior and that's what makes us better. And it's like, nah. I think in that case, you're kind of now, it's almost like we're talking about animals in a way. That's why we have to get away from and we get caught up in the language from picking up different key words from different people and outside groups, alphas and betas, and whether you're dominant or submit. Like we gotta kind of be careful when we start introducing those type of things and those type of words into our own discussion. You got to, because you can't. We're kind of setting up the like we're kind of talking about each other not as humans anymore, but as checks and how much you cost. And like it's almost like everybody's worth has been like not it's, and this is a part of like kind of like a part of what happens with the system is that you begin to devalue what it means. Like you begin to devalue what it is for a human and what it means to be a human. And so they started with us from the gate and we've been fighting to become human. And what people don't know is as time goes on, more people will be joining us as being non-humans, the further in poverty that they fall. That's a part of the game that a lot of people don't really kind of realize. Because most people in poverty are treated like for the most part. Their situation, let me say that their situation is a situation for non-humans. But we ain't all treated like non-humans. And that's the difference. It's dangerous though. Like the more that we even have to ask the question, well, why, well, Dove isn't putting a black woman on or putting a black man on, like whatever that question, like that in itself is us looking for outside validation. We have a chance to, like, we're in just a different space now. We're in a different time. We can actually get back to, like, because it ain't like we can just like cruise through this and continue to do what we doing, because not like when we talk about the aggression, they're also being aggressive with us through different systems like the media. They're using the media also as a way of aggression. They're aggressively using the media to dehumanize us and devalue us. We can't join in on that fight and not only talk about each other like that, but talk about ourselves in that type of manner. If other people and other groups want to talk about being alpha and betas and whatever, you let them become animals. If they want to talk about each other like animals, then you let them have that. That's not a fight that you join in on. It's not us. That's not us. I think somebody used to come on that used to be in the league. He used to always say the devil is in the choice. And that was one of the best points he used to always make. It was always the choice. They always play this game like it has to be either or in order for them to have a discussion with you. So even when it comes down to like something as simple as like when you challenge capitalism, in order for them to feel comfortable and have a discussion with you, they now need to box you into either socialism or communism. Which one is it? Because they're not comfortable having a discussion anywhere outside of that. And even when I tell the clown communalism, what does he do? He still, well, that sounds like communism. Why? Because that's outside of his program. Outside of his program. See, I like to watch them shut down. I went outside of his program and his brain stopped functioning correct. We don't have to make we don't have to make a choice that's either or. Democracy or, like, nah. Whatever is the best, and we'll adjust and add from here and take from this. They always want to make it seem like you can't have the best of both worlds. You can't combine the two in some sort of way. It's possible. Yeah, and then you know what, man, that's a when you talk about that, right? So, and I've used this example before. Yeah, that's a fact, Mark. And so I never understood that stance, considering that functional humans have to practice both dominance and submissive. And that's the thing. Like, and both of those end up getting tied as if they mean male or female, or they mean masculine or feminine. And these are the, like, it's almost how black now it means good or evil. You know what I'm saying? Or when we talk about white and black, or dark and light, meaning good and evil. Like, all of those things are like a slick kind of play on words in general. Because, and the reason why, because they have to split the forces. It's one force. And in order for them to understand the one force, they always have to split it in a two. into some sort of either or situation. Like, that's the best way that they can understand it. So even though, like, when we talk about light and dark, it's all light, right? It's all spectrum of light, right? In order for they can't understand the connection between light and darkness, and so they have to split it. They have to make it seem like they're polar opposites, or that they have to go against each other. Not seeing that one could be birthed in one, and anything that is birthed in something isn't out to necessarily kill it in its natural state. We see that it's out to nurture, it's out to see that it grows. So it's different. It's a difficult situation. Yeah. Um, that's why I think, and it's a weird combination, because I think, and that's why I think one of the statements I was making before was that you can, like, I know people then seeing they grandma was probably the dominant one in the relationship, and grandpa was probably more submissive. He kind of, or maybe it was your uncle and your auntie or whoever it was. But, like, none of that meant that grandpa was no fucking, you was finna run over. No, he just conceded shit around the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't a fight he was finna get into. You know what I mean? So he'll concede that spot or that space or whatnot. Or maybe that's just, he's more, you know, chill or whatever it is, and she's more, assertive about things and how things need to be arranged, how they want to be done or whatever. And okay, cool. Sometimes it's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, it's Archie Bunker and Edith. You never know. But I don't think that makes either one of them, like, and see, what they do is they try to, a lot of times it demoralizes both sides, but when it comes to women, it's in a way to, like, try to, like, say that she's losing her her feminine trait, right? Or she's outside of her natural feminine state. And it's just impossible to do. You can't be outside of your natural feminine state, whether you deciding to be dominant or submissive, whether you're deciding to be aggressive or or passive or whatever. There's no getting outside of your feminine. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just crazy. Unless you are, like, truly trying to be, and that's a totally different discussion. That's a totally different discussion. But as far as we talk about just normal relationships, or I'm not gonna say whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. In general, it's a downplay. And so, no, grandma was not fucking masculine, nigga. Like, I'm not letting niggas get away with that shit. Grandma was not masculine. Like, that shit is crazy. She was feminine. She may have been an aggressive feminine. She may have been a dominant feminine, but she was not masculine. It's just crazy. And see, that's the thing though too. That's a good point. That's another thing that they try to tie it to being weak. To being weak. These are all dangerous ways to refer, because when we created these terms, it was in ways to understand how two energies were creating. So when we talked about a negative and a positive creating, coming together and creating, it wasn't to say that the negative was bad and the positive was good. It's not the point of that. When you bring it together and we talking about a feminine and a masculine combining together in order to create, the point of that is not in order for you to demonize one side of that, or to say that, well, yeah, the masculine is stronger, or it has, it's the, or, and the other one is a sign of weakness. No, no, they're two sides of the same, like, it's the same force. It's just it's on the opposite sides of the spectrum, maybe. But the thing is that there, you can't cut, the, like, it's almost like a rope in a way. And so you can't really tell where one side begins and where one side ends. That, like, it's dangerous. Yeah, it happened. That ain't mean, and see, that's the thing. Even though that was the case, that don't mean that some nigga was finna run up in y'all shit and he was finna let that shit slide. Like, that's crazy. That don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a totally different, you know what I mean? That's two different things. And it's almost like used as a way, and it becomes dangerous because we start pushing each other into certain boxes that people may not necessarily fit in. That's why we have to kind of try to eliminate these boxes that we try to put people in. You may be pushing somebody towards a lifestyle or towards something because of, they don't fit the typical box of how people maybe converse, or maybe carry their energy, or whatever it is. So it is, it's a fine line. It definitely is a fine line. But like I said, we got to be careful, with how we have these different discussions when we talk about um, light and darkness, when it comes to men and women, when we talk about masculine and feminine, dominant and submissive, passive and aggressive. These, you can't like tag these traits to a gender, and you can't tag these traits to a people, and you can't, like, no, we're human beings with multiple different emotions, and a lot of different things going on, you know and we didn't got caught up, like I said, we got caught up playing this game of the playing choices. Finna drop the link for anybody who got any questions or comments or anything. And so, we they like try to make everything inside of these choices. And so when we feel like we don't necessarily fit all the way into the choice that they are telling you that has to be made, we either ball up, or we kind of fall in, try to fall in line with a box that we uncomfortable with. That may not be for us. And that's a part of the programming too. We talk about people being, the society and people and stuff like that being programmed. That's a part of it. Is what outside forces are pressuring you into a feeling like you need to be, how you need to act, how you need to carry your energy. Because sometimes some people are doing things not because and you're bringing something to their awareness that they may not have been necessarily thinking. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. But I don't think that I think the first place is that once we actually find ourselves and we like build that rapport with ourselves and we date ourselves and we love ourselves and then marry ourselves, I think everything outside will kind of fall in the line. Because like I said, at the end of the day, you do create the world that you live in. You do create the environment around you. It's up to you. And so, you know, that once you draw the right type of energy, then, you know, that'll all come to you. That'll all play right. A lot of it is knowing yourself though. A lot of us don't know what we want. A lot of us don't know what we don't like about ourselves. A lot of us don't know what we think is ugly about ourselves. And sometimes we try to ignore what we don't like about ourselves and we don't want to face it. You know what I mean? We don't want to see that. So it's you know, it's first getting there, and then the more once you in a space to where you feel like you can be comfortable being you, then you'll be able to attract you. I think that's like the first part. But that's why, like as a collective, we gotta reverse the curse. You know, we in a mean fight right now against, like, in general, a system that's kind of it. Like I said, it's like we're under attack just for being us. Your hair is under attack. Your skin is under attack. You know, the way your energy in general is a threat. And so and like I said, it's one thing if the media is painting the picture of black people. We can't like, we can't even give you no paint. We can't be the ones that's giving you, an image or any type of add nothing to your imagination. None of that. Like, we are in opposition to that. Complete opposition. Complete. But it just depends. So, like I said, anybody got any questions, anything you want to hit the link, you can jump on. Seeing Asiatic and them in the mix. But I had to come on in and say that, because like I said, what I was looking at, it really, 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 really was kind of disgusting me. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm looking at the dude, and I'm like, I'm not giving any of them credit to have that, like, any sort of value or anything, especially when we talk about in black spaces. But that right there, having a meth head, that just kind of takes the cake for me. Like, that's next level. That's fucking next level shit. Like, I don't know how exactly I'm supposed to view it or respect it, but I think something had to be said. Like, honestly. And I don't. A lot of people like to jump on. Uh, it's a younger sister, but it's a younger sister. So to me, we kind of gotta know better. We gotta have kind of more experience. And part of the reason why we even do what we do is because we're supposed to not only be studying, but we're supposed to have some sort of understanding, like, of how, like, the system is at war with us, and be able to either expose it, or whether people believe you or not, or shut it fucking down as soon as you see it happening. Like, it's your job, nigga. It's your job. And you sleeping on the fucking job. And you had one job. One. That's what I be meaning. Like, when niggas is talking about black power is dead and shit, like, yo, the shit is just talking now. It's just saying the shit. It's just saying it. It's not creating a true ideology that combats the issue that we have now, or the that, like, the way that we view ourselves or value ourselves or the way that we house us. No, it's the same old shit. Like, I don't like the Wayans brothers. None of them motherfuckers. I'm just gonna be real. I don't like none of them. To me, all of that shit, they was coons. Like, they had the worst comedy, some of the worst type of comedy I ever seen in my life. Just me. So when I'm on YouTube, no, I'm not gonna give you that. You're not gonna get that type of comedy from me. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna participate in that type of shit. Now, if that's something that you like to watch, okay, cool. I got bad addictions too. I mean, I'm gonna fuck with the Fridays still. That's just me. But when it comes to, like, niggas like the Wayans brothers and different people who, because those are people who not only, like, it's one thing for people who got a check and had to go to certain producers and go certain routes in order to get on. These dudes had control of their own image and were in control of black people's image. And they did everything in their power to destroy it, to make fun of it. And they continue to. They continue to. We got to be careful because there's a lot of people right now on YouTube, is different channels that do skits and shows and different stuff like that on their own. Their job is simple. Be different. Be different. And it works into, like, it's a lot that we have to work on. We have to work on. It's not only just how we, because partially how we view ourselves is also how we view the different principles of the system. I say lust, sex, greed, uh, um, how we deal with food, even food, how we view food and how we view eating and drinking. All of that has changed. Shelter, how we view humans compared, and a lot of it has, and that's why I say, like, whenever they can't see the connection or explain the connection, they have to split it up. And so they try to split nature up into, like, three parts. You have, like, man, animals, and then plants. When in actuality it's just one, which is all life. But they do that in order to create a hierarchy and to kind of, what we say, like how we dehumanize ourselves. They kind of, like, try to devalue life, and that's really kind of a better way of even putting it. We could say it's devaluing life in general. So, like, devaluing, like, if you can start with devaluing a tree and devaluing, uh, flowers and, crops and whatever it may be, then eventually you'll start devaluing animals, and then from animals you start devaluing humans. No problem. Appreciate you, Amar. Definitely. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, definitely. Shout out to Ghost. Appreciate you in the building, God. Let's see. You said the community right now is in shambles. African Americans, Afro, whatever, as a whole, the same as black people don't even want to admit they have African in them. What else did you expect? Yeah, man, it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation. And and a lot of it is because Africa is like the face of being primitive, what they call primitive. And I hate to use that word because it's really an attack on when I talk about Aboriginal culture, but people who like live naturally and off of the earth and try to leave less as a footprint as possible, right? It's an attack on that type of way of living in general. And went by Africa always being the face of being primitive. Because when you look at most of the people who kind of talk about it and against it, the things that they build up and that they big up is infrastructure, right? They're kind of like they're in love with European or Eurasian infrastructure and culture and their standards and you know like that I think they say that we can't find that we had any writing that like ancient writings or whatever in West Africa. They can't find like a writing system. And so that makes people feel like, well, we were less than, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't have a writing system or we didn't build the pyramids or whatever the case is. All of these things are standards that Eurasians or Europeans and yes, beautiful, that Eurasians and them had created in general, right? They created these different standards of what culture was superior and what was great and this and that. No, no, no. It's kind of like you know, uh, it's a different vibe. It's definitely a different vibe, you know. And hold on, you can go ahead. So yeah, but a lot of times, and um, you know, uh, so yeah. Anyway, um, yeah, we just got to be, we got control over our imagery now. We're in a predicament. We don't know how long this will last. We don't know how long we're gonna be able to produce our own media. We don't know how long we're gonna be able to produce our own music and be able to push it out to, what I mean, to multiple people without signing. And that's why where it kind of comes into play at where everything can't be about the money, right? That's the danger. And that's where we have to kind of build up a value system that doesn't necessarily, that more so revolves around us doing things just because for each other, and not because we're going to get something like, some sort of economic gain out of it. We got to kind of be able to get back to that state of being, that state of mind, where the reason why we're doing whatever we're doing is in general for the community. Shout out to I'm New here. That's it. As long as we continue that type of mindset, that type of play, it, you're gonna get like the same ordeal every time. We're gonna continue to fall apart over the bag. You're gonna continue to get people who sell out because like somebody was able to offer them something that looked nice or sparkly or whatever it may be. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, we just gotta kind of be careful. We gotta be careful. We told right now, you between what we doing on YouTube and what we doing on other like social media platforms in general, we toting the line on the image that we are pushing out of ourselves, because it's almost like they've been controlling the media and controlling what we can say, and how our music, what kind of music we can have, and how the album. Now you can put together an album and put it out on YouTube. Nobody has control on the order that it goes in, what songs that they gonna put on, how long the songs is, none of that. But you, nobody has control over if the women are naked. If you and I'm not necessarily gonna say naked, but if their bodies is being used in a sexual manner, because there's ways that you can, that people that you can highlight that part of our women without necessarily making it in a lustful type of manner. More so, it can be respectful, but things outside of like in an artistic type of way, no. There's no point of you having it. So they've given us time to be constrained about. Shout out to T Dot, appreciate you. They're giving us that time. And so when the time is up, they'll be able to say, well, yeah, we talked about you like this, and we were saying you guys were all thugs and whatever it is may be the case. But when you got in control of your media, you start saying the same thing. You devalue each other the same way. You start talking about each other as if you weren't humans either. So that's something that they can kind of push, they'll be able to easily kind of push back on. What did we do when they gave us the gun? Who did we aim at? And that's the part what we always talk about, how much influence we have over the world and how much people copy us and this and that. Well, since IG and all of the attention we've gotten on YouTube and SoundCloud and whatever else it is, people should see us differently now, right? Right? We know the science. We know the science of how they put subliminals in the music. Whatever you got to do, pray over the master copy before you send it out. All of that. We know the science. The question is, are you applying it? And then when you did apply it, did you apply the same shit? Did you put the same spirits over the master copy that that Universal Studios or no, I say Universal Studios, but Universal or Rockefeller did, Zodiac Records. What did you do differently? That the women in were the women in your video treated under the same sort of image as in a Snoop Dogg video? When you were in control of the media and the discussion, what was the difference between your media and Fox News or your media and CNN? What was the difference? This is what we have to actually ask ourselves before we produce anything. Before we and that's why it starts to get old, some of the things that we cry about. Because we can't really cry about who's in control of what anymore, our image or anything like that, because now we're more so in control of our image. We have more so the most control that we've ever had over our voice. We had that over our influence, how we influence people. So if we're so influential to the world, it's time we should be killing the machine. We can outdo the people that they keep trying to push and run and all of that. First off, we need to stop paying attention to the people that they push and run. That's the first thing. Because a lot of the main issue is that we direct our energy that way. And they feed on that. They feed on that energy. And make and create a scenario to where you kind of feel like they're the standard. Lil Baby or Da Baby is the standard. No, that's not the standard of music, nigga. You are. You're the standard. That's a small sample size of what we can do. But a lot of people are afraid to fly. It's safer in the box. It is. It is a lot safer in the box. Sometimes it's more comfortable for until you like whatever it is. But sometimes the box feels good. And every now and then it's cool to peek outside of the box. But as long as you know that that's where, you're going back in, that's as far as you're going to go. But you're never going to go far enough to fall out of that box. Yeah, a lot of stuff that's unnecessary does. And the reason why unnecessary things make money is because the people who produce money don't need money. And so the people who pay people money for unnecessary things, they can always pay you for unnecessary things. They can pay you as much as they want because they're creating literally the money that they're paying you is coming back to them regardless. Tenfold. So you think LeBron is getting, I don't know, maybe 300 million or whatever to play, 200 million. If I can pay LeBron 200 million, two other players 200 million, and then the whole team a couple of million each, how much money do you think I'm finna get paid? Think about that. How much do you really think I'm finna get paid if I can afford to do all of that? That's where the issue comes in. That is because I think we kind of look at it usually on like the scale of like, being able to make money and this and that. But I think we kind of disconnect the people who are printing money or in charge of how money is printed and this and that. Because if they go to talk about money being printed from the Fed and different stuff like that, the people who are going to show up and join in on that discussion, the people who are going to, you know, step in that are going to be in on that discussion on how much money they print, whether they print money, whether they cause inflation or whatever it is that they do, is going to be McDonald's. It's going to be GM and Ford. Like, these are the people who are in control of that type of flow. They're making those type of decisions on your behalf. So they can always pay you more. They can always. And it's nothing. They don't rely on money. They rely on you happening to spend money. That's a like something that's crazy. Said BB, everybody concerned. Yeah, I think it's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game. You know, picking up social currency. And I think, you know, these times were coming and we kind of figured, and for a lot of us, and for a lot of you are probably already ahead of the curve, because we are already moved into the stage of where, you know, your value is now going to be based on a social currency. This is going to have to deal with a lot of ways that you eat, are able to shelter yourself and everything. And I think it was Black Mirror that had like the show on that. People were getting based on their social scores and different things like that, and that was determining whether you could, you know, you could lose money for a cab and on the way to someplace because of your social score drop. It was like that. So a lot of people kind of ahead of the curve on that. You know, as we kind of push towards that direction with society, you know, it can be unfortunate or whatever it is. I don't know, but it like right now, I think if you got a bank, you need to start building up some, you know, saving you some social currency and building it up, different things like that. You just don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know who you're gonna need. You know, and what type of things exactly we have to rely on. Shout out to T Duck too. I gotta get your email, T Duck, so I can send you a manager. I want to send you I can send you a manager so I can so you can go ahead and drop some of that Freemason science. I know they've been looking for it for a minute. The same old. I swear, man, it was Desert Shield right now. But yeah, man, things change over quickly. And I think, you know, to be positive about it in general, I think as a whole, I think we're doing a lot better. I think as a whole, we're doing a lot better. And I think that's why the attack is ramped up as much as it is on us as a collective. Like, it's because of how much better I think we, you know, it was almost like, you know, and I think they was alluding to it last time, you know, us feeling good about ourselves, and then, you know, the the type of things that the shift that the country took, you know, to kind of make us feel a little bit different, you know, morale wise and stuff. And so I think these are all of these type of things kind of play a role in it. We gotta be careful, you know, with the different distractions and stuff like that. But we're our own news, you know, we're our own news source. And so if you're gonna tell me the news, you need to tell it in a black way. You know what I mean? Give me the news in a way that, you know, that is painting a better image or a better light. You know what I mean? I don't need to hear about who got robbed, shot, dragged, drugged. Like, bro, I watch enough Law and Order SVU. Shout out to SVDO. I watch enough Law and Order SVU. I don't need, I don't need it. I'm good. We know there are plenty of shitholes in America as far as inner city that are like literal shitholes where you can find some of the worst fucking crime and the worst like fucking mindsets and conditions and all of that. Cool. We know that. Now we want to create a mindset that that embodies an environment in a situation that looks different from that. And you only gonna create that by first speaking it, first having the thought, right? You first have to think, what exactly is it that this looks like? What is it? And then second, we have to start speaking that with authority. That means the media that we produce has to speak our progression into authority, into the ether, into the universe. All of that has to be put out there. We then do that, then you'll see it manifest. You'll see it work because now that's the expectation. That's the image. Now that's the image that you look to live up to. That's the image that you end up looking up to. But you got to be able to do it in a way to where we're actually like we're taking all of the attacks, all of the ways that we've been under attack, all of those different things, the imagery, you know, the attack on our hair, the attack on our nose, our lips, our skin, uh, the way that we choose to worship, you know, the way that we choose to practice medicine, the way that we might choose to, you know, whatever it is. Because all of that has been attacked as being not only, and see, it's one thing, like, it's not only been like not the standard, but it's been deemed below standard. That's where we are. Below standard. So we got to see ourselves differently than that. We got to see our culture differently than that. That's why I get mad whenever I hear the Comedics and the only fucking thing that these niggas is talking about is some Egyptian pyramids and shit. Like, yo, bro, I'm good off of that shit. We got great Africans with bones in their nose and plates in their lips, bro. Tell me about them. Let's talk about them some. Let's talk about Omo Valley civilization. Let's talk about Niger Valley civilization. A lot of these things get the short end of the stick because the European has set a standard on what a great civilization is, and then you end up shitting on yourself because you don't fit that whatever that standard or narrative that they tried to create. Shit is weird. This shit is weird. Nigga, we are West African. Like straight up. If you want to be an East African, quit being a fucking the quit trying to pick certain ones, nigga. Be the bone in your nose, East Africans too. I'm a plate lip African. Fuck y'all. That's just what it is. I see the game that you niggas be trying to like, and these niggas just sit up there with a fucking sign up. These ain't your people. Like, nigga, what the fuck you mean? In some fucking pants. You sitting your ass up here in some pants and some other shit that the goddamn European then laid out for your ass. Talking shit about somebody in their own shit. In their own shit, speaking their own fucking language, practicing their own fucking culture. But you sitting up here, then got your ass whooped talking shit about them. These niggas is crazy. Fuck you. Give me a plate in my lip and a bone in my nose. That's what I'm rocking with. Niggas want that. I'm telling you, that shit is like Asiatic. These niggas be wanting the fucking all of the glory. Nah, nigga. Mud huts. Nigga. Fuck you mean? That's what we built. We built mud huts. Fuck them pyramids. God damn. Then it got so sad though, and you get to fighting with these goddamn Hebrews. I'm fighting with these niggas one day. I can't even much be proud of my mud huts. These niggas is trying to take credit for the mud huts. The Asiatics then created the mud huts now. I'm like, God damn, so what the fuck did the Africans build? I don't know. You tell me. What the fuck you mean? So we can't have the mud huts? You niggas gonna come and take that from us? No, fuck you. We keeping our mud huts. We keeping our mud huts. Nigga. I don't care if we was fucking clicking the talk or whatever it is. Fuck your Asiatic languages too. Nigga, we don't need to speak none of that shit. You niggas talking about we ain't had no fucking language and write shit down. That's because you niggas was too slow. We didn't have to write shit down or even have a fucking language to talk. Nigga, we was talking it with our mind. You niggas needed words. So we have to try to formulate words for the slow people on the planet. Like, fuck. They can't communicate with us. Got us dumbing ourselves down for these crazy ass motherfuckers walking around. Don't even, like, man, this shit is ridiculous. They done disrespected our culture so bad. I told y'all, man. Like, y'all don't know if y'all ever seen Fire Hydrant 54, whatever. It's like they had like this, like all of the books had to be burned and shit. It was fitting that Michael B. Jordan played my role. This was a movie about the future. And he played my role of being the leader of this book burning. Because part of the issue that we gonna have with the way our mentality and our mind, you gotta think about what they did. They destroyed any sort of records that we had about anything that was important. Historically, spiritually, all of that. They either destroyed these records or they hold on to these records to this day. And they create their little different discussions and thoughts and ideas and theories based off of this shit. Right? Probably in somewhere in Latin Vulgate or some shit. They'll steal all of this and like it's sad, man. It's sad because they're like creating with our shit a whole new fucking standard of living and thought and all of that and ideas, but then they pervert it all because, like I said, when they study our shit, they don't understand the connection. So they don't know the connection between life. So they have to separate life in order to study it, in order to understand it. They can't see it as a whole. So the universe ends up being different when there's nothing outside of you. Shout out to you two streets in the building. Like nothing outside of you. That like the fight is it's so much different than what we've been kind of viewing it. And sometimes when we talk about the direction that the fight should go, people tend to see it as if you're not fighting at all, right? They they tend to look at it in that sort of a light, like, well, there actually is no fight. You're actually like, they look at it as if, you're giving up. But no, the point is that we're not only trying to combat all of the different ways that you're attacking us, but we're also trying to fight under our own terms, under our own rules, under our own conditions. We've been going the wrong way, but they've been able to use and steal all of this different information from us, lock it away, pervert it, push out different theories and books and stuff like that, and pretend like we had no part of any of this shit. And then this is how they change not only the way that we view history and the way that and really that's a major role, because the way that you view history is the way that you'll view yourself. And so they change the way that we view history, the way that we view life, all of these different factors. In order to reverse that, we're not moving forward with these books. These books must be set on fucking fire. They got to be set on fire. Every one of them. We have to start all the way over completely. We don't need none of it. We don't need none of it. We'll figure everything out from scratch. Because the direction that, like, they've embedded their ideology so deep into history to where the people who even collect the history, like even the stuff that I go to research, right? Everything that you go and you research, all of the people have an agenda, or they have some sort of like fucking motive already, or preconceived notion before they go and research the information that they go and research. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to see if I can read y'all something from the Limba tribe, right? Because I was just looking at this. So they did this with the Limba tribe in South Africa, right? And so they try to like base this whole movement. Let me see if I can get to it. Let me see. Is this it? Yeah, I'm thinking. No, let's go back up. Yeah, this is it. Let me go back up. So, and see, this is like, so when they were talking about like the Limba tribe, right? One of the major things that they was actually saying about them was the reason why this Limba tribe they were saying that they were Jews was because of the culture. Like they were saying that these people ate uh they ate pigs. They didn't eat the pigs with hooves and a split or something like that. They didn't eat food with a split in it. They ate separate from other people, which all Africans eat separate from other Africans. Like what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck that meant. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how often you finna see the goddamn the Igbo eating with the crew. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit just ain't happening. So I don't know what they meant by that. Then they go into they had a Sabbath, which meant they had a rest day, right? Which pretty much everybody has a rest day. Um, they went into a bunch of different like little vague certain things. And what I noticed that they were doing right before they ended up molding and shaping these people's culture into fitting the narrative not only of the Bible but the narrative or the also the Jewish narrative that these people constantly try to impose on the world. And they really didn't have a leg to stand on because at the end of the day, they don't have a fucking culture to compare it to. Like, think about this. And I'm reading, and they're going and comparing certain cultures and practices that they was doing, and they were going like, yeah, this was based off of the Limba people practice this based off of something that was similar to what Abraham did. Like, wait, Abraham didn't fucking exist. So how are we having a discussion from this standpoint? And it's a scientific or a historical. How is that a serious historical discussion? It's not. They're trying to superimpose themselves onto different African cultures in order to validate themselves in history, and they have none. No, the Limba are not practicing no damn Asiatic or Eurasian culture. No, they're practicing their own culture, and they tried to steal their shit and mold it and make it seem like they've been doing something. No, go find yourself practicing that damn culture at some point in time in history. That's why I be telling these niggas when they be using Asiatic damn information in order to validate that damn book, you're throwing yourself under the bus. And you're throwing all of us under the bus. You're allowing them to steal history. Insert themselves into history as if they've created something. There ain't no Solomon's temple. But you got different African tribes talking about a Solomon's temple. What are y'all doing? They need these older tribes, these older indigenous tribes who we know were been around, who've been here and have an original culture. They need them to validate them. They need that to validate them. So yeah, they want to try to go into the Khoisan. They want to try to get in with they want to try to get in with not like because I think the group that they was using was a Bantu group. And what's crazy is they try to say that like they DNA ran back to them, even though like the DNA that they was using was going through the Y DNA, and that they were saying that they found no results of the Limba for as far as the male. But even outside of that, when you read the conclusion of the article and of the testing that they did, there was no way to be able to say that the Limba were traced to anybody like in specific, like period, and that the DNA that was showing up was most likely coming from like trade that they was doing in the Indian Ocean. You know how bad it hurt me to see we had a South African brother. I don't know if the brother was joining the league, but he had started coming around all of the time. And this brother was a South African brother that lived in South Africa and said that he was not no stinking African and he hated them and that he was an Israelite. That's what this brother was saying. Very concerning. And the only thing I could think of was, goddamn, he's been watching black people on YouTube. It's the only way you could have got that, bro. You've been watching black people on YouTube. This nigga in Africa, born and raised, talking about he ain't an African. He's Abrahamic, an Asiatic, and he hate Africans. Yo, what are we doing with ourselves as a people? And the things that he was calling out the differences was in the hair texture, the skin, different things like that. And this is, mind you, this is all because he's a different tribe from the other people. Power to the dark side, Young Scheme, the future in the building. I get it. I get it. So it's a huge fight. It's a huge fight where we talk about like our image and how we view ourselves. And it's much more dangerous when we're like pushing that same narrative outside to the world and then they look at us and start imitating that shit. Like I thought we were making progress as a people, and then this brother hit the link one day and hurt my heart. I couldn't believe the shit I was hearing. This nigga was an African. The nigga looked just, I mean, I'm talking about like any other African globally, but the nigga said he was Asiatic. That's what he told me. He wanted me to believe that shit. These East Asian cults have got to be stopped. They got to be. That's why I be saying these different religions that we ended up picking up, they prepared us for a lot of bullshit. Accepting outside forces for validation. You know, the current way that we are is a curse. That we're actually from East Asia or some fucking mountain in Turkey. And try to get all this sophisticated shit. And then when you go and look at these people are the most savage people ever. No common sense. They didn't bury their dead, none of that. But we're going to try to make fun of people with the bones in their nose and plates in their lips. No, fuck you. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. You're not going to talk that Pan-African shit, and you only want to go and pick out the perfect fucking civilization to consider yourself a part of. Nigga, try again. That's not really being the Pan-African. As I be saying, like we have to be. This is why I came up with the term global Aboriginal African, because Pan-Africanism has become capitalism. They want to do business with the people in Africa who are like-minded. And the people that they deem primitive or behind in Africa, some of the different tribes and cultures, they want to take advantage of these people. They want to go put them to fucking work. You niggas stop devaluing our mud huts. Like, nigga, I don't even think people even know how seriously deep the mud huts are. Those were made out of adobe brick. Building something in adobe, I don't know if anybody's ever been in the side of a house made out of adobe brick or anything like that. If you ever go to like Old Town San Diego, they'll let you actually go into the houses like that. No matter what it feels like outside, it's cool inside. The temperature is like the perfect temperature. It's crazy. Motherfuckers is geniuses. Niggas is trying to make fun of the goddamn people. I think it's people in Kenya that use cow piss as a fucking as basically like a vaccine or some shit against fucking, you know, the damn mosquitoes. They don't even see that shit is genius. Nigga, these niggas is looking at the shit like, would you do that? Yeah, I would, fucker. I'm not getting no shot, nigga. If I'm going to go see the people in Kenya, that's nigga, and I'm not getting no damn shot. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go roll around in red fucking clay with them and whatever else they fucking tell me to do in order to make sure that the damn mosquitoes don't get my ass, nigga, or kill me. Whatever else is out there, I'm gonna do. Niggas is primitive, AC ass niggas. That's primitive. You need a fucking fan to stay cool. Otherwise, you damn near die. That's primitive. Primitive is you need clothes in order to not get fucking sexually aroused when you see other people naked. Nigga, that's fucking primitive. That's primitive. Childlike. Niggas ain't like primitive is not being able to control that shit. And so because you can't control it, you try to create an environment that gears that energy or no, nigga, control that shit. You looking at them because they got their titties out and they primitive. No, nigga, you primitive because you gotta have yours hidden. That's primitive. Yours gotta be tucked away. That's primitive. It gotta be tucked away. We gotta hide the fucking babies because motherfuckers is all the way sick in the mind and shit. You gotta hide the babies. That's primitive, nigga. Them people living, they babies is living free. Running the fucking woods and the forest and the goddamn plains as far as they want to run and coming back. People see them and they don't even look at them in that light, in that type of manner. Primitive is when you can't look at people without being able to see people, without being able to see them. Like it's almost like you have to be able to see a soul, almost a spirit. That's something that you have to be looking at and looking for. And ain't respecting that. We live in a primitive state of mind, a primitive state of being. And the society just caters to your primitive behavior. We're in this this society that babysits us. Because you can't control, think about it. You can't control your urges. So McDonald's can't sell supersized fries no more. Man, fuck you. I like supersized fries. Control your goddamn urges. Damn. You can't control your urges. And so society is going to cater to that shit instead of making you fix it or helping you fix it. No, that's primitive. Primitive is all of the fucking food that we throw away on a regular basis in this society. Daily. That's exactly how they be looking at things. If it can't be packaged and sold, it's primitive. That's exactly that. How they look at it. Shout out to Rashawn Walters in the building. Appreciate you guys. It's disrespectful. The way that we look at other people's cultures. And then when you compare it to this one, like, bro, this ain't even close. This ain't even close. We gotta have stuff that's set, like, because of how we view people with this distrust and this disdain. Because that's what I told you like earlier when I was talking about like these different religions breaking you down like a pimp. Like you like the Bible is like the way it talks about you without this outside force, right? You're no good and you're not worth anything, and you don't have self-control or any of that. And you have to be, in order for you to gain this, you need to feed this vampire deity, and in return it'll give you a spirit of self-control and all of that. All of these things which are already supposed to be in you, including this deity that you have in this discussion with. That's dangerous. So the deity isn't telling you, hey, you need to go inside of yourself and fix this. No. So it becomes, a typical mistake that we all kind of fall into. Shout out to Goldmine. What's good with you, twin? Appreciate you in the building. Straight up. He said we African. And that's why a part of that is in the fight. It isn't just about us going and building businesses and things like, no. The point is about being able to create an environment to where the people who don't do or the cultures and communities who don't decide that that's not what they want to do, they're protected. They have to be protected. The Twa people were not protected in the lands that they were in. They were under attack. To the point now when you go and see the Twa, these people, they walking around with goddamn pants on now. Who told you you was naked? They were protected. Shout out to Karai the introvert. They weren't naked. They were under a covenant. They were protected. The community, the children, the women, all of that. Somebody came and told them that they was naked. Now you see the damn Twa people running around in the jungle. They trying to half run around in the jungle and half ass live in the city wearing fucking pants now. And they living like bums now. That wasn't even the fucking way that they was living before. But they trying to fucking convert into this modern way of living. And modern people are attacking the Twa people. It's foul. No, they need protection. If people want to live out on the jungle, they should be able to live out there without having to worry about you cutting down fucking trees for fucking number 2 pencils. They try to give the Native Americans all of this land, but they created so many dams in like, well, not all of this land, but you know, the little bit of land that that the natives was able to keep or whatnot. They created so many dams that it's basically it cut off the fucking water, the not only the food supply but also the water supply for most of the natives. Because it stops the river from running from flowing naturally. And then on top of that, the dams are blocking the salmon who would normally be swimming upstream. So they just hitting the fucking wall. They're just hitting the wall. The native people are starving, but they got their land over. Like, come on, man. They need protection. That's not protection. That's not true freedom. Them people ain't truly free to. How am I protected and free to live off of the land if you blocking the salmon from swimming upstream? That's my main food supply. I'm finna throw away DNA too, man. We wiping that shit out. All people were created by a major river source. So people were created by the Amazon River, people created at the Mississippi River. There were people who were created at the Niger River, the Congo River, and even the Nile River, the Euphrates River. All of the major rivers you can think of, that's where people were created from. We don't all come from one and all of that Adam and Eve shit. So I be saying, man, science be on some old Adam and Eve shit. They be playing these games. Nah. We don't all come from no. And we've been at war with the people more than likely who were created at the Euphrates River. We gotta stop the foolishness. We know people, and this is the reason why I say that too, because you got multiple different kind of people that's created, right? The Twa people have some of the oldest DNA on the planet. The Khoisan, I think, is the oldest DNA that we have on the planet. And when you date these people, okay, cool. At what point did they create the Sudanese people? Or at what point did the Sudanese people create them. And you can look at both of them and say, never, never, it never happened. Yeah, I don't believe in out of Africa theory, bro. If that's what you was asking me. Yeah, I don't. Actually, I actually believe in the bottleneck theory. I would actually rock with that, but to an extent. But in general, yeah, I don't believe I don't rock with the out of Africa theory. I don't think all people come from Africa. Nah, nah, I don't think that. Not at all. Not at all. But when we talk about being an African, especially when we talk about it like as far as like for the dark side, it's it's not about per se the name. Like the name is attached to Aboriginal culture. Like that's what it is. Africa represents people who practice their natural culture in a natural state, and or what they call primitive. That's what they represent, and so that is the face of people who want to practice their natural culture and be in a their natural state globally. People who want to live off of the grid globally. They use Africa as like an example of why you shouldn't do that. You want to live off the grid, or what you want them African? You want to live. They trying to use that as an example in order to like have this type of fear about it. So Africa is bigger than just the continent. It's about Aboriginal people globally being able to be themselves and not be under attack by outside forces, by the system, by capitalism, by infrastructure. Like, and that's the issue. We don't, when we talk about like capitalism in general, you and it's you against like this infrastructure, and you're dehumanized. Like your rights, when people go and like try to tell you that you have rights in capitalism, no, your rights are infringed upon. The rights of the people are non-existent in capitalism. It's about the corporation. So Bayer can produce pills that are tainted with AIDS and send them out around the world, right? Or to East Asia, and nobody serve any jail time. That's possible. It's okay for them to devalue your community and continue to create revenue off of your community being devalued, your home, your businesses. Yeah, I think when we talk about what's Aboriginal, I think I think in general we should all be leaning towards Aboriginal. You know, I think we all have, and I think globally we have it's a we all have a similar concept globally as Aboriginals. The serpent is something that's held at a high regard in Aboriginal culture. That's how you know the difference. And any that's why in any culture they talk about conquering the serpent or the snake or the dragon. That's an attack on Aboriginals globally. It's an attack on us globally. When they go against, when they talk about modern science and what modern science is, and not being able to use our ancient practices of whether it's um, voodoo or hoodoo or root work or Ifa or Palo Alto or whatever it is, like whatever it may be, you juju, all of that. We if if one of those is under attack for being in practice, then all of those is under attack, no matter where you at. So if Ifa is being shamed or put down, then of course voodoo. That means that they're trying to say voodoo is below the standard, or root work is below the standard. So we got like wearing your traditional clothing is something that, people, I don't, the daishiki ordeal, whatever, but actual traditional uh um uh Ashanti clothing, or traditional um uh I don't know, Igbo clothing, or whatever it is. Or even you know what I'm saying, whether you here and you want to wear your feathers, like, that's not the standard. You go to wear your feathers, you're gonna be ostracized, and you know what I'm saying? That needs protection. So no matter whether you want to rock with your spears and your feathers or fucking bows or whatever it is, you need globally, that way of living and that life is under attack, and it's been under attack by the system. You being able to, how you worship the Great Spirit and all of that, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's disrespected. That's disrespected. The land is disrespected. That's a part, when you talk about Aboriginal culture everywhere, the land in itself, the water, the river, the all of that, the air, all of that is a vital part of the spirituality. They disrespect that. It, like, you can't even practice your spirituality right if that ain't correct. We need the river cleansed and shit. The land got to be right. The spirit telling us that the land need to be resting every 4 years or so, and these motherfuckers is overworking the land. Like, yo, that's counterproductive. It becomes counterproductive for us. So we got fights on our hands. We got fights with ourselves, and then we got fights as a whole on what we're gonna do. But I'll tell you, what I seen earlier, we can't do that. That can't be the example. That can't be the standard at no point in time. Period. We can't allow meth heads to get on and give relationship advice. We can't allow them to come on and not only is promoting interracial dating, but telling us that promoting interracial dating to men. Like, what the fuck is that? The nigga was up there promoting interracial dating to men. Like, you guys are limiting yourselves, huh? No, no. There's no limiting myself to black women, bro. Sorry. I'm vibing at a higher level. And it's different. It's different. The frequency is different. The vibration is different. The way that black women put together thoughts are different. The confidence, not even just confidence, the way that, a lot of, like, and I think a lot of people see it as a threat because black women can speak in a lot of ways, like, they can be really sure of themselves, you know, really assertive with their speech. Great at multitasking. Create, have great ideas. It's a lot of different things that we can definitely go into. Maybe we have to do a whole show on just specifically that. Everything, nothing physical, nothing sexual, just simply simple and plain. What is it that is what is attractive about black women? We have to do a whole segment on that. So we can actually deal with some things that don't start off with I like a few extra pounds. That shit was fucking disrespectful. Like the nigga basically got up there and said black women was out of shape. That was a real slick shot that we were lowering ourselves to black women. And what attracted him to black women was their physical appearances. So it was disrespectful. It was embarrassing. I watched the brother. Brother, I watched the brother like clearly cutting off like the sister that was on all of the above. And so we got to do better as media. And it's sad because that's already been put out there, so you can't really even snatch that back. Can't snatch that back. So that's an image we got to take on the chin. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I just took that one on the chin. You know, that was an ugly situation. That was just ugly. So I don't, what people do with their personal lives and whatever, I don't like. That's cool. That's cool. But if we are propaganda and this is black media and we creating black propaganda, then that ain't black propaganda. Facts. 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 Maybe, it's the mother of all, man. The mother of all. You know, it's a different vibe. I think, even the way that they like that nature interacts with black women is different. You know, I think a lot of times we talk about melanin and different stuff like that, but I don't really think we really talk about like what that looks like when you see actually they skin in contact with the sun. It's a different level. You know what I'm saying? It's a different level. So it is it's multiple, it's things that I think that's something that we got to do more of. I don't think we really do it enough. And I think a lot of times, even as from like people when we supposed to be conscious, I think a lot of times though that's where we start at is by what we see with our first two eyes. And I think part of being conscious is it's supposed to be your vision through your third eye. Right? And your third eye is supposed to be open, I thought. And so if you kind of seeing things through that, the way that you should see women should be different. Same thing, vice versa, the way that you see men, the way that you see yourself, the way that you see beauty. I mean, beauty isn't a look, right? It's different. It's an energy. It's an energy. It's something that you feel when you you know what I'm saying, when you're around somebody or you in the presence of. It's not a look. It's an energy that can be expressed. Sometimes it can be expressed through a look or through how somebody looks or appearances. But that should be only a minute factor. The main thing should be like is like positive. You know what I mean? What type of are they positive? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's just it's other traits. I think the intelligence. You know what I mean? Are they critical thinkers? Researchers? You know what I mean? Different stuff like that. But the superficial stuff, it's an issue. It's an issue. So no, beauty is not an appearance. It's an energy. That's a force that you should be able to like and remember the first sometimes the appearance is a part of the first part that sometimes can hit you of the force, right? But sometimes that force right there can kind of knock you off balance and you're not really kind of seeing straight. You gotta be able to stay on balance and see straight. Okay, cool. Beauty, okay, cool. Appearance, check. Now, because appearance, you can be beautiful, but what comes out of your mouth can instantly make you ugly. Just depends. How you think can make you ugly, unattractive. And a lot of times it ends up happening where you end up making other people uncomfortable or feeling weird about whatever it is that you said. It's because a lot of times, I mean, you're a little bit shaky and not confident in what you're saying. You're a little bit, on edge about it. But we graduate. That's the fight in that dark place. But like I said, man, with that being said, I just had to react to that. I found that whole scenario very funny. So we just gotta be careful with the imagery and the things that we do, how we view each other, all of that. Y'all already know, man. A special praise to the most beautiful goddess of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEMia, and the most beautiful image, Whoopi Goldberg. So, like I said, if you are listening to this, together we are Babel. Let's build. Peace.
Ryu, this is crazy.
Yeah. Watch. Y'all already know what time it is, huh? Watch. Tell them keep playing dumb like ain't nobody a witness. Swear to God on my mama, everybody gon' get it. Everybody that's with them, cause everybody I lit them. Keep playing dumb like ain't nobody a witness. Swear to God on my mama, everybody gon' get it. Everybody that's with them, cause everybody I lit them. Niggas can't stand on shit, we live them stretched out. Finna get a medal of honor, we bringin' vets out. And you get stepped on every time you step out. You not a stepper where you from, you a step down. And stop reppin' where you from, you a let down. Can't be seen where you from, you keep your head down. That fat nigga mention my name, I'm breaking lead out. RIP another boss nigga, I think he bled out. He ain't gon' make it, I'm taking another head count. COVID so hot, I keep him from leaving beds out. Niggas self-snitching on live, bringing the feds out. They the last nigga took a O talking about how he dead now. You don't know your life too short, that had me stressed out. Somewhere he took a wrong turn, I on the death route. Try the little Boyard Blue, I bring the chef out. Put a whole drum on the 9, that bitch attack now. Keep playing dumb like ain't nobody a witness. Swear to God on my mama, everybody gon' get it. Everybody that's with them, Cause everybody, I hit them up. Keep playing dumb like ain't nobody a witness on my mama, swear to God. Everybody gon' get it out. Everybody that's with them out. Cause everybody, I lit them out. You can cry all you want, but I don't do tissue. So the guy you don't get through if you let Blue get you. I put Nino on that mag, let my boo get you. Making Playboy moves with that new issue. When you surrounded by them snakes, you don't know who bit you. And that's the problem with you fakes, you don't know who hit you. And if I'm trying to make it shake, I don't care who with you. Call me Bruce Ambity Sam, I got 2 pistols. AOI, a bunch of lanes, don't let that shoe fit you. And you better keep them tight, don't let that shoe fit loose. I can't miss, everything got shoe hit you. I ain't friendly, ain't shit about Blue being cool. And you know I don't forget him like an elephant. Ayo, and the eye really irrelevant. Assed out, and we know we lacking intelligence. Keep him out your circle before you regret you let him in.